So, in the last video, we left off, I was telling you guys about what happened with my mom and the healthcare proxy. But before I get into that, somebody left a comment, and it was an interesting comment, and I just wanted to address it and give this person an answer. The question that this person asked me was, in a perfect world, how would I have preferred that my brother and his wife acted? In a perfect world, I would have just preferred that they communicated with me better. Communication between my brother and I was controlled. And I could tell it was controlled because, I know my brother and I know how he normally acts. The way they were going about things was just so sneaky. And if they wanted to know about my mom's, will and her healthcare proxy, like, we should have been kind of doing this together and talking about it. They didn't want to talk about those things with me. And as you guys see the story advances, you'll see how sneaky they really got. The more sneaky and evasive my brother acted, the more suspicious I became of him because I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you up to? It all could have easily been avoided if he would have just talked to me. Simple, like normal. And the way he was like interacting with me, it just wasn't normal. I hope that answers your question. I would have just preferred that they were more honest with me. That's really what it comes down to. So I left off telling you guys about what happened in the hospital with my mom and my brother. It was a complete shit show. I couldn't believe my brother was sitting in the room fighting with my mom. I had tried at all levels to not have the drama in her room. My mom was clearly scared, shitless at this point in time. You're scared, you're in the hospital, you have cancer, and you think you're dying, right? And now you have somebody who's constantly asking you about your healthcare proxy, your wishes, your will. If somebody's constantly in there and they're asking you these questions, you're going to start thinking you're dying. And she was already concerned that she was dying. So, like, this is exacerbating. Why can't I say the word? You know what I mean. It was just making her fears worse. Like, she's already scared. And now you doing this and you just constantly harassing her about this healthcare proxy thing. You're scaring the shit out of her, dude. Like, why are you doing that? To be honest with you guys, I don't think it was my brother. I don't think he was the one who really was asking these questions and wanting to know these things. And at that time, I couldn't really make sense of why he kept asking about this healthcare proxy thing. What is the fucking obsession? I figured it out later on, after my mom passed away. It finally hit me, and it took a long time for it to hit me. But what they were basically trying to do, they were trying to make it look on paper as if they were the ones taking care of my mom. That might not make sense to you guys now why they were doing that, but it will in the future. When the time comes, you guys will understand why. The next morning, I wake up. So my brother gets into this fight with my mom about the healthcare proxy. Next morning, after that, I get a text message from my Aunt Debbie. And here we go. Good morning, Lee. I spoke with your mom this morning. She sounds more like herself. However, you and Steven need to keep the drama out of her room. She said that she was very upset that you both were in a battle about who was her healthcare proxy. She said to me, I don't know why they would do this in front of me. Is this the end for me? You guys need to keep it positive. FYI, I wrote your brother also so you could both create a peaceful atmosphere for her. Talk to you later. First off, my mom could barely articulate herself at this point in time. There's no way my mom called her up. No. Even if she did, her story wasn't correct, okay? My mom is the one who started that. We weren't battling about who her healthcare proxy was. They were fighting. I wasn't even involved in the fight. So I wrote back to her. I said, Aunt Debbie, please don't get involved. I kept the drama out of her room. You need to talk to my piece of shit brother. You could call my husband and ask him. I'm fucking done with my brother and I will never talk to that piece of shit again. You need to know the whole story before you start giving speeches. I was trying to keep the drama out of her room. I was there all day, all night, and all night for the last 3 days. His wife was calling the social worker 2 days after my mom was in the hospital asking about healthcare proxies. She was calling and calling. That was the social worker's words, not mine. She has no fucking business doing that. It's my mother. I had my mom sign the papers because all those pieces of shit care about is her money. They went to her house and went through all her bills, her financial statements, and her safe last time she was in the hospital. Steven is telling me we need to bring her to an elder care lawyer He's planning her fucking death. That's all they care about. That's why I'm so fucking angry with everyone. You all think they're good people. Fuck them. I explained the whole thing to him. His name is on the paper. I told my mom to put it there. They're trying to take advantage of my mom because she's all drugged up. They're evil pieces of shit. He was trying to have a secret meeting with the social worker yesterday. Then he kept calling and calling. The girl came in the room and asked my husband if he was him. He said no. Then she said my brother was calling relentlessly about the healthcare proxy stuff. My mom called him and asked him what the fuck was going on. He's making her think she's fucking dying. He got her all stressed out and she started shaking and was unable to breathe. She was completely out of it yesterday. He started asking about her will and everything. My husband was sitting right there. Our priority is to keep the drama out of her room. When Steven came later, I left the room because he started yelling. You guys all have no idea what evil pieces of shit they are. I saw Uncle Bob talking to them and giving them advice about the will. Everyone thinks I'm fucking stupid and I don't know what's going on. Guess again. So she writes back to me, and this fucking pissed me off extremely badly. Leanna, you are putting your energy towards the wrong things. This is a time we should all pull together. We all love your mother. Don't focus on the wrong things. Dude, first of all right, I'll save it for later. I'm pissed off while I'm typing this, so keep that in mind. I wrote, Aunt Debbie, don't tell me what I'm putting my energy towards the wrong things. I probably meant to say, tell me what I'm putting my energy towards, or don't tell me I'm putting my energy towards the wrong things. Don't tell me what I am doing. I've been at the hospital day and night for 3 fucking days straight. I know what my energy is focused on. You text me with this bullshit. Steven came into my mom's room with the bullshit, all while no one but me has been helping her day and night. You could call the hospital and ask to see the security tapes. Don't fucking tell me what my fucking energy is focused on. You guys have no fucking idea what you're even talking about. Do me a favor, don't talk to me unless you're asking how my mom is. Otherwise, you can all stay as far away from me as possible. I'm fucking done with this bullshit. You were all fucked in the heads. Why don't you focus on being there for your sister instead of texting me with this fucking bullshit that you don't even know what you're talking about? And by all you, I mean Steven, his evil fucking wife, Aunt Betty, and Uncle Bob. How fucking dare any of you make this harder for me? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Tell Steven to enjoy his Halloween party tonight. I'll be up at the hospital. So she writes back to me, thank you for blowing this all out of proportion. You should be ashamed the way you were carrying on. And then I don't know why she wrote Aunt Fuckhead. I don't know what the fuck that even means, but whatever. I said, my mom just called me and told me to come down because she feels like she's giving up. That's because that asshole asking about the healthcare proxy bullshit constantly, Looney, have time for your bullshit. I think I meant to write, I don't have time, and I got corrected somehow. I don't have time for your bullshit. And then she writes, Aunt Betty and I are going up soon. Yes, my emotions were out of fucking control at that point in time. I was scared. I thought my mom was dying. I was confused. I was angry with my brother. I had no idea what was going on. Why am I in this situation? Why is my mom in this situation? So yeah, I fucking flipped out on her because I'm so sick of them telling me what I should be focusing on and what I should be putting my energy toward. And I'm the only one who's really actually doing anything for my mom. I'm the one there every night, taking her fucking teeth out and cleaning them and putting them in a little dish so that she could put them back in the next morning. When somebody's in the hospital, you can't solely depend on the nurses to be there because the nurses have to be there for 100 other patients. I was my mom's nurse, basically. I was helping her every step of the way. And I promised her, I will hold your hand till the fucking end. And these motherfuckers who haven't been around, they're the ones telling me what I should be doing. And my aunt, the way she talks to me, instead of giving me the benefit of the doubt, pulling me up and saying, hey, Leanna, what happened last night? Let me hear your side of the story. She just assumed that she knew what happened. And I'm telling you guys right now, she didn't get the story from my mom. She got that from my brother's wife, or my brother, but probably his wife. Because that motherfucker, I had found out that weekend, was calling up everybody in my family and giving them the wrong information, telling them that my mom was fine and doing great and don't worry about coming down to the hospital. She wasn't doing fine. She was in horrible shape. And I think she did that on purpose because I think she wanted my mom to suffer and not have people be there for her. And they all listened to her. And my Aunt Debbie, I'm like, why don't you call me up and say, hey, Leanna, what happened last night? What went down? And give me a chance to explain myself. She brought this to me. I didn't text her. She texted me that morning. And now you're going to tell me I'm focusing on the wrong things? When you text me, my mom and my brother were fighting about the healthcare proxy. I didn't bring it up. That wasn't my fight, okay? You're bringing this to me now and telling me to keep the drama out of her room when that's what I was trying to do. That's why I left the room that night. And then when I try to explain myself, you gaslight me and tell me that I'm focusing on the wrong shit. I was done being gaslit by these people at this point in time. I mean, because it was going on for so long. I had reached a point where I was like, no, I'm done. You're not going to gaslight me. If you want to talk to me about my mom, no problem. I'm not discussing shit with my brother with any of you guys anymore. Because you know why? At the end of the day, it's not your fucking business. It's between me, my mom, and my brother. It's not your business. And for years of my life, I grew up thinking that this was normal for your aunts and everybody to be so involved in your life. It's not normal behavior. So my husband, I don't know, I don't even remember how, but somehow my husband ended up on the phone with my aunt that night. My Aunt Debbie, and she's telling my husband, oh, I wouldn't mind, if my sister in law, the only one that they have, because the other one's divorced out of the family, thanks to them. That's the truth, because, that's the mother of the victim. These people are crazy. He's like, I wouldn't mind if my mom's oldest brother, who's been married to his wife for God knows how long, they really respect her opinion. She's a great, great person. They're like, oh, we wouldn't mind if my sister in law called the hospital and asked about healthcare proxy. Yeah, Aunt so-and-so has been around for fucking 30-something years, 40 years. This is a girl who has not been in our life. She's a stranger to me. Everybody forgets this in my family. I had no contact with these people prior to my mom getting sick. My brother and her met in March, okay? They were engaged by September, so 6 months later. That was really the whole span of time I got to know her. Once they got engaged, I didn't talk to her ever again for another fucking 2.5 years or whatever it was at that time. She's a stranger to me, and she's essentially a stranger to my mom, too. I know it's my brother's wife, and he's married to her, and that's great, but I'm not comfortable with this person. My mom's not really comfortable with her in that sense, and my mom didn't want her around, and she expressed that to everybody. It's not like a secret. It wasn't a secret. Everybody knew how my mom felt about her. Oh, and in fact, haha, my mom actually got in a fight with my Aunt Debbie one morning. And my mom told me about it. I came in the hospital and she's like, I'm so pissed off at Aunt Debbie. I'm like, why? What's the matter? And she's like, oh, I was telling her how Satan was in here last night. And she's just like, da 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 da. And she doesn't shut up. Aunt Debbie goes, at least she's trying. And my mom goes, trying? Now she's trying? How come it took me having cancer for her to finally try? My mom was basically telling her that she didn't feel it was like a sincere effort. And her and my aunt got in this fight. My aunt starts arguing with my mom while she's in the hospital. Another fucking asshole arguing with her while she's in the hospital. Oh, Carol, it was all of them. It was all of them. My mom's like, no, it was her. She was the reason for all the trouble. And my aunt's like, no, it was all of them. And she kept saying it. And that's what my mom told me. She goes, she just kept saying it and saying it. She got me so pissed off. Oh, why? Why are you arguing? My mom's venting to you. She's in the hospital and she's just venting that my brother's wife's annoying her. Why can't she just do that? Why do you have to start arguing with her about it? Fucking assholes, these people. I hate them. I hate them. What they did to her. So anyway, my husband gets on the phone with my aunt. She's telling my husband, I wouldn't care if so-and-so reached out and was helping with Nana. And my husband's like, it's a little different. It's a little different. My husband, again, pointed out to her, Carol loves me. You don't see me down there doing that. I would never overstep that boundary. Steven's around. Steven should be doing it. You want to know what my aunt said to him? I don't even know how they got into this whole conversation. Like, I forget the words. I wasn't on the phone. But my husband got off the phone and he tells me, you know what your aunt just said to me? She goes, I would be around more often, but I have to feed my dogs. You have an adult daughter living at your house and a son-in-law living at your house. They live in an apartment on the side of her house. They can't feed your dogs for you. That was your excuse. You would come to the hospital more often, but you had to feed your dogs. So your dogs are more important than your sister. I gotcha. Cool story, bro. These people are fucked. They really are. So that happened on the 28th. That was the last time I talked to her. I was done. I was just done. I was so exhausted. I'm going to end this one and come back in the next.